Yeah. Y'all watching the GrindEthiks Mixtape Show, and I'm your host, Viktory BX Supreme Promoter. Basically, hey, I ain't holding right. You know what I mean? I'm saying, basically. Aha. Yo, what up? I'm just acting silly today. Never mind me. Yo, today is gonna be a special segment of the GrindEthiks Mixtape Show. By the way, anybody that like this episode, I'll be very grateful if anybody like, share, subscribe, or if you're gonna subscribe, ring the bell so you can get notifications of my new videos. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Only if you like the video. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no stress. Because I don't want to feel like I'm trying to chase fans or trying to chase or trying to force people to support me or whatever. Anyway. Yeah. Also, if you like this episode, I'll be very grateful if anyone can make a friendly donation. Nothing big. The link is GrindEthiks Cash App, GrindEthiks Cash App, and I'm also on GrindEthiks Media at PayPal. The links are on below. Okay? Anyway, this special segment of GrindEthiks is called Power Play Stories. That's right, Power Play Stories. What is Power Play? Basically, Power Play was a legendary studio, a legendary music studio, which was located in Queens, New York, started by a man named Anthony Affrey or Tony Affrey. He what's the year Power Play started? Started sometime in the 80s. Okay, I'll get the right exact year later. But what's so special about Power Play Studios is the fact that it played a big part in the hip hop culture in New York City, as far as hit songs, hip hop songs that we respect, rappers that we know and respect and love. Power Play Studios was the home of different legendary artists like KRS-One, Fat Joe, Slick Rick, Coogee Rap, Nas, CNN. Damn, the list goes on. Listen, Dana Dane, the list goes on. Spider D, Run DMC, LL Cool J, especially a lot of the famous rappers from the 80s and 90s that lived in Queens. Definitely participated in Power Play Studios or definitely recorded their music in Power Play Studios. A lot of hits was recorded in Power Play Studios. For one, The Bridge Is Over. The Bridge Is Over. The Bridge Is Over. The Bridge Is Over, which is performed by KRS-One, was recorded at Power Play Studios in Queens. Yes, KRS-One recorded the famous Queens diss track in Queens, New York. You know what I'm saying? The nerve of KRS-One. Yes, he recorded that diss track, dissing Queens, in Queens, specifically at Power Play Studios. Legendary Power Play Studios. Yeah. So, some of y'all wondering, Viktory, where do you play a part in the history of Power Play Studios? Where do you play a part? I'm gonna tell you. This is one of my favorite stories I like to tell in my lifetime. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna have kids, but if I do have kids, and if I do have grandkids, I'm gonna tell them about the story of how I first entered into the music business. through Power Play Studios. Anyway, when I was in 10th grade, going to John F. Kennedy High School, fun fact, DJ Kid Capri went to Kennedy High School. But anyway, when I went to Kennedy High School, I was in 10th grade and I signed up. I signed up because I remember in my freshman year, I wanted to be a music producer. So I wanted to break in that field. And I was too shy to be a rapper. So I was like, I got to get into the studio life and learn how to use this equipment so I can make beats. So I signed up for a program, an internship program under City As School. So my first semester of 11th grade, instead of going to school, I went to work at Power Play Studios. And I got school credit for working at the studio. I'm like, wow, I get to work at a music studio that I always want to be at. And at the same time, I get school credit. That was cool because I hated school. Okay. I mean, I was in an honor roll every year, good grades and all that, but I just hated school. I was one of those kids that had good grades basically, but I hated school for real. But anyway, so I went to Power Play Studios. It was cool. My first boss I ever worked for was a rap artist, pioneer rap artist who started rapping since I was born. Spider D. Pioneer rapper Spider D. He had a few hits back in the day. Matter of fact, Russell Simmons used to manage for Spider D while he was managing for Run DMC and Curtis Blow. But yeah, my very first boss was Spider D. Also, I was working for Tony Afrey, who I mentioned earlier. He was the founder, but he wasn't at the studio every single day. And also, I was working for my brother Ronald Chevalier. But Ronald, he busted our asses. Like he really enslaved us. I remind you, this is my first job. Power Play Studios is my very first job. I'm 17 years old. I never had a job before. This is my first job, and this dude is working me to death, right? And we clean the studios. Remind you, we're not getting paid no money. We're getting paid in credit, school credit, but we're not getting paid no money. I didn't get paid from Power Play Studios till like after the internship program is over. Then I went back on my own time and started working. Anyway, Ron, he worked us to death. Every studio A, B, C. Remind you, we had the B and C studio. Hold up, did we have the? Oh yeah, we had the A studio in one building, and we had the B and C studio both in one other building. I think on the same block. Yeah, actually, it was on the same block. 39th Avenue in Beebe in Long Island City, Queens. You take the N train to 39 and Beebe Avenue. Not too far from Queens Plaza and not too far from Queensbridge. But yeah, I have fun working at Power Play. Also, yeah, Ron was the slave driver, but Spider was the cool boss. He let us, he didn't tell us what to do that much. He let us sit in the studio, watch him engineer. He let us sit with the clients and watch them do their thing. He let us watch the. He basically let us sit in the client's studio on time or studio session. Ron, he didn't really care that we learned. He didn't even care. I didn't really get along with Ron like that. Matter of fact, me and Ron almost had a fist fight one time. We almost had a fist fight. This was after the program was over and I was still working at Power Play. And this is when I was getting paid money at Power Play too, finally. But we hashed it out, we squashed it, and I became more cool with Ron. But Ron was just teaching me how to be a man. He was teaching me how to be a responsible man. Because it was annoying, going back and forth from Queens to Manhattan. But again, it was my job. And remind you, Power Play Studios moved the A studio to Manhattan over on 30th Street on 7th Avenue. 30th on 7th Avenue. That's where we moved to. And we kept the B and C studio in Queens. So I was back and forth in Queens and Manhattan. But like I said, me and Ron, we mad cool. If I see Ron now, it's like, oh shit, what's up, Ron? You know what I mean? I never thank Ron for really showing me the way, bro. I never really thanked him. If I see him again, I'm gonna thank him, because I remember years later, I was like, yo, this brother was just slaving me, having me bust my ass, he was just teaching me responsibility. That's all, But Ron was cool. He was cool, definitely cool. Weed smoking type of brother, Ron was the type of brother, he smoked weed all the time, but he wasn't a lazy brother. He was one of those brothers that made hard work look effortless by smoking weed. I think that's why his work was so smooth, and he didn't really stress his job that much. He didn't really stress work that much because he was just a cool dude puffing trees, man. Booking sessions, making sure that the clients had the equipment that they needed to have or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And Ron was a weed smoker. He was a true blue weed smoker. Trust me. But he wasn't lazy at all. By far. He wasn't lazy. But yeah, man. Power Play Studios was one of my memories as a not a kid. I would say I was really making a transition from being a boy to a man. I was 17 years old, about to be 18 at that time. Power Play Studios was the first time where I made beats. Actually, my man Ramon, who was assistant engineer at the time, big shout out to my brother Ramon, he taught me how to use the MPC-62, and that's where I made my very first beat. And I sampled off of Curtis Mayfield. I sampled off of Pusha Man, actually. I sampled off of Pusha Man from the Superfly soundtrack. That was fun. I remember when I first made my first beat, it wasn't even mixed down yet. And I'm a hothead trying to sell my first beat. And I didn't really work hard for nothing. I didn't bleed or nothing. I don't deserve nothing. I didn't deserve no opportunities because I made my first beat. So what? But I thought I was the shit at that time. I was trying to sell my first beat to A&Rs, to record labels, to whoever came to the studio. You know what I'm saying? I was giving away business cards. You know what I mean? It was funny, man. It was funny. But I had fun, though. I had fun. It was my fun. Yo, working at Power Play Studios was my first exposure to the music business. And to this day, Power Play Studios was one of the jobs I didn't hate. Almost every job I had, I hated, except for when I was working at Power Play Studios, and except for when I was working at Penalty Records, and back in '98. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna stop this version of GrindEthiks. I'm gonna stop this version of Power Play Stories. And I'm gonna give you some more stories, some more experience. Right now, this is a teaser. I'm glad this is not 20 minutes because y'all got short attention span. Anyway, anybody that like this episode of GrindEthiks, yo, follow me on Instagram. GrindEthiks Media 22. And also you could follow me on GrindEthiks Mixtape Show. The link is on the bottom. Also, you could follow me on TikTok, GrindEthiks TikTok. Okay? And I'm out, y'all. And remember, peoples, tell a friend to tell a friend. That's all about the mother effing grind. Basically.